noblest profession in the world. Believe me, it's not what you guys must have heard so far. It's not prostitution, it's journalism. I've said this earlier. Have you guys heard of Narad Muni? Narad Muni used to, hear this thing from one guy and used to go and report to others. Now this was the oldest investigative journalist that we had in our mythology. So he has trained us the art of journalism, how we all should be, and that's what has shaped our profession now in this contemporary world. You all can be not just journalists, but the finest journalists in the world. Even if you can't put together 2 sentences of English, you can still be a journalist. A good one. A fantastic journalist where the city can be proud of you. Until class 11, I was not able to speak English because I lacked confidence in myself. I thought that everybody is watching me. I used to get choked, tongue-tied. I was not able to form sentences properly. And from there on, the journey took such a turn that I became the associate producer for a movie which was produced for English channels like Channel 4 and HBO. I became Mumbai correspondent for world's biggest English publication, Time magazine, and I did a couple of cover stories for them. I think that for being an investigative journalist, you only need 3 P's, 3 D's and 1 M. I will only elaborate on this today, and I think if you guys are serious enough and catch hold of this mantra, all of you can become investigative journalists tomorrow or in near future if you want to. The first P is passion. You guys should be passionate. You cannot go to your source or you cannot approach your subject with a yawning face. Yes. No. You should be absolutely interested in a subject. If you want to expose a corrupt government, you should be passionate about it. If you want to expose the incompetent and corrupt police force, you have to be passionate about it. Nothing great can be achieved without passion. Be passionate. The second P is patience. You should be patient, because if you want to do investigative journalism, you want to do big stories, you want to do stories which people will sit back and read, you should be patient enough to do your stories quietly and slowly. You might not do this like a Maggi noodle which is done in 2 minutes. You cannot do a quick journalism that people are doing these days. 400 word story, file karo, go home. No. Investigative journalism, it changes lives. It overthrows the government. It will make you a big name. People will be scared of you. I have heard about investigative journalists and their clout so much that when they used to call Mantralaya, the chief ministers at the time used to stand up and talk to them. You can be that powerful if you do it with this kind of patience and if you can do it with this kind of passion. The third P is perseverance. Keep working hard. Don't give up. You might face a lot of obstacles. You might have a lot of hindrances in life. People will discourage you. You will have a very mean, barking editor all the time trying to demoralize you. You will have your colleagues who will only ridicule you, who will only put you down. But you should believe in yourself. You should continue doing it. I will quote an Arabic couplet for you, which my teacher told me, and after that my confidence went up several notches. أَتَزْعَمُ أَنَّكَ بِجَرْمٍ صَغِيرٍ وَفِيكَ انْتَوَى عَالَمِ أَكْبَرٍ. In you is hidden a vast universe. Alame Akbar is a superlative expression. It means in you, within you is hidden the vast universe. Believe in yourself. I'll come to these now. Dedication. You should be dedicated to your profession. Journalism is not your 9 to 5, 5-day job. It's not. It's not a job which will take care of your family and which you're doing it because you want to feed your family. The second D is daring. You should have the courage to take on your subjects. You know, a cowardly guy, a man who has the heart of a chicken cannot do anything in journalism. You should be strong, you should be brave, you should be able to withstand any kind of pressure, any kind of threat. And the third D is about desire to decimate, stroke, dominate. Now this is something very tricky. Don't misunderstand me and don't misinterpret what I'm going to tell here. When I say desire to decimate, I'm not saying with ulterior motive or with some negative or evil intentions. I mean that if you are doing a story, nothing should discourage you or put you down. You should know that you are going to be having an upper hand here because you are the good guy here. And the story that you're doing against that person is the bad guy. So you will not give up. You will not back down at all, whatsoever may happen. And I think all of you can score this 3 P's and 3 D's. It's not very difficult. The difficult part is M. Getting a mentor. If you guys can get a good mentor who's concerned about you, your career, your growth, your success, your future, you have arrived. Your success is made. I will conclude this session with what Krishna told Arjun in Mahabharata, which is, he said, विश्वास तेरी शक्ति है, संघर्ष तेरी भक्ति है, तेरा कर्म ही तेरी विजय है. So guys, please join investigative journalism, please change the world, and please show the world that you are made of some special stuff and nobody can put you down and can deny success to you.
So, we loved your book, Dongri to Dubai. We all read it recently. Very nice book. So just a question. We read the conversation with, your conversation you had with Dawood Ibrahim in 1997. Could you tell us a little bit about it and what was your experience?
I tried 4 sources and I requested them that if they manage to get me an interview with Dawood, I'll do whatever they'll ask me to. So one of these guys, I can't reveal his name and identity, but he lives near Baikala. He said he can get an interview for me on a pager wherever I am. There'll be a message for me. I have to go to the closest phone and Dawood will call me there. Well, so simple. But before that I will not call him, I will not speak to him. So for weeks and months I was waiting for this elusive message, marriage threatening message. I kept on waiting, and for weeks after that I just got one message when I was in a rickshaw heading towards Kalina in Santa Cruz. And I got down there and I went to a closest restaurant. The guy said, "Where are you?" I said, "I'm in a hotel called Lucky Restaurant in Kalina." He said, "Wait there for 10 minutes. The call will come." Lo and behold, Dawood Ibrahim called. That's how I managed to speak to him.
Good evening, sir. I'd just like to know, in your book, Mafia Queens of Mumbai, it's covered a lot of layers. Like, you've mainly spoken about a woman-centric mafia scene that's going on there. So there are transcripts there are like online chats, and you've, despite saying that it's the women who are behind most of the things that are going on, you've also spoken about things like the love interests of the dons. So how interesting was that? How did you manage to cover so many layers of women, portraying them in a light like this, and saying that they were also loved by so many people? So that must have been like a really interesting experience.
You have to love your subject. I love women. You have to know that women are behind every good things. For example, whether Adam's exit from heaven or government formation in India, you have women everywhere. And the word Kuzpa, it's a Yiddish term which means spunk, bravery, daredevilry, was created for women. So they are like, I'm sorry, I don't want to offend any men here, but I would say that they are braver than men in all spheres of life. And the way they can influence men and the way they can make change this world, no one can.